Police have made a breakthrough in the case of the death of a female U.S. citizen. The woman, identified as Melissa Samnath, was left at the Cornwall Regional Hospital unconscious and in a wheelchair by her alleged attacker in April. Now, following a post-mortem a few days ago, the police are now searching for her Jamaican husband.
She booked a flight to celebrate her 35th birthday. She never made it to the cake. Melissa Samnath was a senior accountant from Queens Village, New York, a woman her family leaned on, the baby of 4 siblings who somehow ended up being the one holding everybody else together. She loved to travel. She loved people. And on the last day of April 2026, she landed in Jamaica, ready to celebrate her life. She never came home. And the story of how that happened, let me tell you something. It goes so much deeper than anything you saw in a headline. You are watching Drifting Truth TV. We cover the stories that live in wreathed spaces between the headlines, domestic violence, and toxic situations. If you're new here, subscribe and stay with us. Melissa was the kind of woman whose family describes her the same way, every single time. Dependable, warm, the one you call when things fall apart. Her niece said it plainly. When their grandfather passed, Melissa was the one holding the rest of the family together, taking care of her aunt, taking care of her grandmother. That was just who she was. She had a full life, a career, people who loved her. And like a lot of people living full lives, she also had a heart that had room for more. Somewhere around September 2024, Melissa connected with a man online. His name was Dean Anthony Watson. He went by the name Squitter in the streets of Montego Bay, 31 years old, living in the Norwood area of St. James, Jamaica. Now, Norwood. That name carries weight. And you need to understand why. The UK government's official travel advisory specifically warns travellers to be especially cautious in Norwood. The US State Department echoes it. Academic researchers place it among the most violence-affected communities in all of Western Jamaica. And the Jamaica Gleaner has reported that the violence there is directly connected to lottery scamming. Lottery scamming. Let me break this down plainly, because it matters to everything that follows. Young men in the Montego Bay area call people, mostly elderly Americans living alone, and tell them they have won something. Millions of dollars, a car, a life-changing prize. But to release those winnings, they need a small fee first. And the victims, many of them lonely, many of them hoping for one good thing, send the money. The FBI estimates Jamaican lottery scammers pull in hundreds of millions of US dollars every single year. Wire transfers became too easy to trace, so the operation shifted toward physical couriers, people who board planes, carry cash across borders, and use their legitimate professional standing to move money no bank ever sees. Anyways, here is where that becomes important. A senior accountant with documented high income can walk through Jamaican customs declaring $20,000, even $30,000 and raise 0 flags. Because on paper, her profession explains every dollar. We are not here to put anything on Melissa that has not been proven. She is the victim in this story, and she will be treated as exactly that. What we are doing is laying the context, because the streets of Norwood were talking about Dean Watson, and about the duffel bag Melissa arrived with, and that context sits right at the centre of why this happened the way it did. Now, the relationship. Melissa and Watson communicated online from around September 2024. By December 2025, Investigators believe they had reportedly gotten married. Girl, married. And according to investigators, confirmed by the Jamaica Gleaner, April 2026 was the very first time Melissa and Deanie Watson had ever been in the same physical space. Read that again, slowly. She married this man, and then flew across an ocean to meet him for the first time. How does someone build that level of trust with a person they have never physically been around? It happens because when someone builds a relationship online, carefully and deliberately, the daily calls, the messages at midnight, the feeling of being chosen, of being seen, it stops feeling like a risk. It starts feeling like the most natural thing in the world. That is not weakness. That is what happens when someone who knows exactly what they are doing spends months constructing a feeling inside of you. It does not target weak people. It targets people who are simply looking for someone to share a good life with. And Melissa had a good life. On the evening of April the 28th, 2026, Melissa landed at Sangster International Airport in Montego Bay. She had booked an Airbnb in St. James. That was where her family in New York believed she would be staying. Surveillance footage reviewed by investigators told a different story. It showed Melissa leaving her Airbnb. Watson was with her. He was carrying her suitcases. She was walking behind him. Whether she left on her own terms, investigators said they could not confirm. Her sister had a different word.
He kidnapped her from her Airbnb and then took her to his house. But yeah, and that's where they also found her belongings, her suitcase, her purse, her iPad, and her duffel bag. So they recovered all that stuff from his house that he was staying at.
For it entirely. He kidnapped her from her Airbnb and then took her to his house. The house was on Norwegian Avenue in Norwood, a pink apartment complex. The same pink house Melissa had already mentioned to her family back in New York. It was close to 11 o'clock at night. In New York, Melissa's sister Liza was going about her evening. These two shared their iPhone locations at all times, the kind of close where if something is wrong, you are the first call. At 10:46 that night, her phone lit up. She texted me back around 10:46 and told me to call the cops and to call one of our friends. And she told me to look at the location on the iPhone because we share locations and it's a pink house. So I told her, okay. So when I checked the location, she was not at the location where her Airbnb was. She was taken somewhere else, which was Norwood. Make it make sense. Melissa was not where she was supposed to be. She was in a pink house in Norwood, in danger, and the only person she could reach was her sister, thousands of miles away in New York. Call the cops, look at my location. It is a pink house. That was the last message Melissa Carey Samnath ever sent. Her sister did everything she was asked to do. She called the police. She tracked the location. She did it all. But that pink house in Norwood was not next door to a police station. And by the time help could have reached her, it was already too late. The next morning was April 29th, 2026, Melissa Samnath's 35th birthday. Sometime that day, Watson called a rideshare. When the driver arrived at the Norwood address, he found Melissa barely conscious, extremely weak. Watson told the driver she had suffered a seizure. A seizure. That was the story he handed to the man driving that car. They arrived at Cornwall Regional Hospital at minutes to 5 in the afternoon. Watson pulled Melissa out of the vehicle at the accident and emergency entrance. He placed her in a wheelchair. A hospital porter helped wheel her inside to the emergency ward, and then Watson gave no information to anyone at that hospital. Not her name, not what happened, nothing. He got back into that same taxi, told the driver to take him back to Norwood. He collected some belongings, and he was gone. By the time medical staff reached Melissa Carey Samnath, she had already passed. She died on her 35th birthday, alone, in a hospital, in the country where she was born, and the man who brought her there was already running. Melissa's family did not find out from the police. They did not find out from the hospital. His mother, had called and told me that she heard from Dean, and that he told her that my sister's either in the hospital or a morgue. That's what he told his mother. So his mother was the one that was calling, and she was communicating information. Because when I couldn't get in touch,
His mother had called and told me that she heard from Dean, and that he told her that my sister is either in the hospital or a morgue. That's what he told his mother. So his mother was the one that was calling, and she was communicating information, because when I couldn't get in touch with my sister, she was
with my sister, she was the next person that I called. Oh, so now this man called his own mother and told her Melissa was either in the hospital or the morgue. Said it like it was just information to pass along. And noticed something. Melissa's sister already had Watson's mother's number saved. That one detail tells you that someone in Melissa's circle knew about Dean Watson, regardless of what was said publicly about the family not knowing this relationship existed. When police arrived at the apartment on Norwegian Avenue, Watson was already gone. But what he left behind told the whole story. On the bed, the pillowcase, the sheets, a white undershirt, a white t-shirt, a towel, all of it stained. Police recovered Melissa's suitcase, her purse, her iPad, and a duffel bag. The duffel bag was there. But people close to the streets of Norwood said the money reportedly inside it was not. The duffel bag is real, confirmed on camera by Melissa's own sister. Its contents were never officially disclosed. Like, what was in that bag, and where did it go? Police also documented what they found when they examined Melissa at the hospital. Bruising to her left eye, bruising to her lips, a wound to her upper forehead, blood on her left sneaker, and broken fingernails. Let that sit for a second. Inside that pink house in Norwood, Melissa fought back. She was not passive. She was not still. In whatever happened in those hours between that last text and that taxi ride, she fought. And somewhere in the middle of that fight, she found her phone and got one message out to her sister. That is the kind of woman Melissa Samnath was, even in her worst moment. A post-mortem confirmed it. Melissa died as a result of multiple blunt force trauma injuries to the head. The case was formally classified as a homicide investigation, and DNA Anthony Watson, alias Squitter, was named a primary person of interest. Watson was known to move between St. James, St. Anne, and St. Mary. Police launched operations across multiple parishes. His face was on every platform, every news broadcast, every community group page. For Melissa Samnath, we are making some great progress in that investigation, and the husband, Mr. Deanie Watson, is a person of interest. We are actively looking for him, and we are appealing to the public to help us in finding him. Watson had landed in a quiet rural village. in Gale, St. Mary, apparently believing nobody there would recognize him. He underestimated one thing. People watch the news, people talk, and people in small communities notice strangers. 16 days after Melissa passed away on her birthday, Watson made a move. But hey, let's be clear, he did not turn himself in because he found a conscience. He turned himself in because the walls had fully closed in. His face was on every screen. The streets were no longer safe. He surrendered alongside family members, the same family that had been sheltering him. The same family that knew exactly where he was, while Melissa's family in New York was working to bring her body home. So what? He gets to surrender peacefully, surrounded by family, while Melissa spent her last hours alone in a hospital? I said what I said. Watson was not remorseful. Watson was calculating. When the math stopped working in his favor, he walked into that police station. That is not a man who feels anything. That is a man who runs the numbers. The evidence waiting for him is not small. There is a taxi driver who heard him call her condition a seizure and watched him drive away without looking back. There is surveillance footage of him leaving the Airbnb with her suitcases. There is physical evidence throughout that apartment. There is a post-mortem confirming her cause of death. There is what amounts to a confession he made to his own mother. And there is that final text message, time-stamped 10:46 at night, sent from a phone Watson later stole and deliberately switched off. The Jamaica Constabulary Force confirmed this was not Watson's first encounter with the law. He had been here before. Melissa was not the only woman lost in St. James in that stretch of time. The St. James police commander said they were extremely concerned about how many recent incidents involved women, and that 12 murders in the parish since the start of that year had come out of interpersonal situations, relationships, people who knew each other. 12 in one parish. In the same stretch of weeks, Cora Thompson, 38, was fatally shot in St. James. Kedin Beswick, 38, was found with multiple injuries at her home after neighbours heard her screaming. Jet Blake, 32, a mother of 4, was shot outside a shopping arcade in Montego Bay, with her children standing right there. Girl, these are not statistics. These are daughters, sisters, mothers, women who woke up that morning with no idea it would be their last. Melissa's family launched a GoFundMe that raised over $20,000. Whatever remained after the funeral would go toward organizations supporting survivors of domestic violence in Melissa's name. Because even in grief, that family was thinking about the next woman. Her niece said something that does not leave you easily. She didn't deserve that. She wasn't an evil person. She was the baby of our family. Now we have to bring her body back to bury her. She came to Jamaica to celebrate her life. Her family had to come to Jamaica to bring her home. Anyways, what do we carry forward? Not fear. Not a reason to stop living or loving or moving through this world with an open heart. Something more grounded than all of that. Know who you are walking toward before you walk toward them. Not just their name, not just their voice, not just the version of themselves they chose to show you through a screen. The world they actually live in. The life they are living when you're not on the phone. Because that life, the real one, is what you are walking into when you step off that plane. Real love does not ask you to carry anything across a border. Real love does not remove a you from the people who know you, and real love does not place you in a wheelchair at a hospital entrance and drive away. Melissa Carey Samnath was 35 years old, a senior accountant, the youngest of 4, the one who held her family together. When things fell apart, she deserved to celebrate her birthday. She deserved to come home. D&E Anthony Watson, alias Squitter, is in custody in Jamaica. The investigation is ongoing, and this community will be watching every single development as it comes. Justice for Melissa is not a hashtag. It is an obligation. She didn't deserve that. This is Drifting Truth TV. Hit the subscribe button. We will see you in the next one.